Goku's power, the art of war. Now, do you ever notice how people talk about Goku's strength like it's just raw power? Like he's some unstoppable force who wins because he trains the hardest or yells the loudest? Or my new annoying thing of the internet today, he hath plot armor, bro, and that's why. These are only half truths, even still. Goku's real strength isn't just physical, it's strategic. You have to pay attention to what's happened throughout the series, especially from the original Dragon Ball. It's the way he approaches battle like an art form that has allowed Goku to really come out victorious in the scenarios that he has. Because keep in mind, he hasn't won all of his battles as well. But every time Goku steps into a fight, he is studying, watching, testing. He lets his opponents show their hands, learn their rhythm, and then slowly turns the entire fight into his favor. That's part of the overconfidence that Whis talks about instead of getting it over with like Trunks or Vegeta would do. That sometimes has obviously been a consequence for Goku. And it's not really about luck. That is discipline and awareness. And the thing is, I think sometimes Goku has taken that a little bit too far. But nonetheless, it's what's allowed him to maintain such a high level of battle awareness and overall strategic battle awareness throughout the series. Now, there's of course an old saying, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. That's Goku to the core, right? From the moment he faced Vegeta in the Saiyan saga, during the earlier times of Dragon Ball Z. He's been mastering that lesson slowly and surely. He knows exactly where he stands. He also has learned exactly what he's up against. And he's always looking for the next tough challenger, the next tough fighter to face. So he doesn't win because he's magically invincible. No, he wins because Goku constantly is willing to adapt more than anyone in the series. Like, it doesn't matter what is coming at his way. He's like, oh, a fighter that's 10 times stronger than me? Like, that is what gets Goku going. You know what I mean? So it's that constant adaptation that allows him to constantly be in this flow state, essentially. Why Ultra Instinct is even something he can tap into when he needs to now. So in every arc in Dragon Ball, they've added layers to Goku's evolution. Frieza taught Goku the price of mercy. Cell taught Goku the meaning of patience. Majin Buu taught Goku that sometimes power alone is not enough. We've seen all these three things happen in real time. And by the time Dragon Ball Super obviously rolls around, Goku isn't really chasing strength for his own sake anymore. He's chasing mastery, and that's what I was mentioning in regards to Ultra Instinct. And that's really what separates him from almost every other fighter in the series. That he chases that domination, and that domination requires his adaptation. These things exist, people. I'm not making this up. If you've been paying attention to Dragon Ball, you call yourself a Day 1 OG, you know this, right? He chases that balance, and that's also something in life. Goku's goal is not just to crush you and to defeat you and, embarrass you like Vegeta would. No. Goku's goal is to understand you as a fighter, how you move, how you operate. Goku also understands how some of his enemies think. I would say Raditz, his own brother, was the first time he didn't seem to really understand a villain's motives, and that could be understandably so. That was his first real introduction to another being that looked like him, or at least had similarities to him, not knowing it was his brother. And once he figured out, he's like, well, you act like an a-hole, so I guess you're not really my brother anyways. But he was still caught off guard, right? Goku knows how to win when he has to. He sacrificed himself with Piccolo's help to stop his own brother. That was way back then, man. His son was just born. Gohan was what? 4 years old? Come on. So when Goku reaches Ultra Instinct, that's not just a form of philosophy. It's the ultimate form of Goku's philosophy that is manifested where it's at now in Dragon Ball Super. He's not just fighting through his emotions like he used to. He's really fighting through just a lifetime of fighting, a lifetime of mastering instinct, learning techniques from some of the greatest martial arts masters he can learn from in all the Dragon Ball multiverse. There's really no wasted energy with Goku. There's no hesitation, right? There's some downtime he has, but for the most part, we can always consider that Goku is training somewhere or he's fighting, right? Constantly. Okay, I think even regular quote-unquote civilian life for Vegeta will keep him a little bit hampered down because of Bulma's expectations. Chi-Chi can't keep Goku at home. If he wants to go, he's going to go, right? And I think that's important to keep in mind. It's really Goku's purest expression of a martial artist that we're seeing come to motion in one. And that's what I appreciate about Dragon Ball. I think some fans still to this day have that point go over their head. Goku's entire embodiment and being is to show you what it's like to be a true martial artist completely zoned, focused in on your philosophy, your teachings. I don't even have to go down the rabbit hole of that. You guys should understand that. That is what Goku's character is about. And I feel like it's weird when I have to have conversations with fans and I'm like, this is going over your head still. Like, that is Goku at his core. So when we talk about the art of war, it's every opponent, every battle, every transformation, every opportunity Goku has had to learn something for the better or for the worse. That has obviously enabled him to be what he is today. You can call that plot armor, or you could say it's a character that has constantly chose to take the route that's harder, that's more difficult, but it forces him to adapt. I mean, for crying out loud, it seems like Goku, if he wants, could really learn a technique and use one technique from everyone he's faced at some point, right? Even his best friend Krillin, you can see similarities of that. And that's what I think is awesome about Krillin as a fighter. Krillin seems to have a little bit of everybody's move up his sleeve. Gohan as well takes a little bit of influence. I love seeing the characters use each other's moves, and I think Goku is really the epitome of that. So again, it's that lifelong study of combat himself, okay? He fights for understanding, okay? When Goku understands his mastery, he still feels there's levels he can get to. And he'll always chase that. But that's what makes him dangerous, man, because, yeah, you can measure strength, but speed, ki, and awareness, above all of those things, awareness is the one thing you cannot measure in the same light. And that's what, again, makes Goku just beyond dangerous, but such a frustrating fighter for some of his opposition that he's had to come across. So this is all a part of his foundation. And that's what makes Goku's art of war so dangerous against anyone he comes up against, even if he's at a disadvantage, even if they're in a position of having more power. We've seen him be in those spots, and we're like, how is he going to figure it out? He adapts, and he'll figure it out, or he'll try dying, right, to his best ability. So this is where we'll leave off as we head into the next part of this discussion. And we talk about how Goku's power level has evolved beyond just his numbers and how his fury fuels his precision. And that power-ups reflect not chaos, but control. Those are 3 separate videos we'll have following this one. Because in Dragon Ball, real power, of course, is not just about domination, my friends. It's about harmony. It's about mastering yourself and the battlefield that lives inside you. Toriyama, I know Toriyama has taught this, and I still think the lesson is not quite being received by everyone in the community. I think a lot of us, we live our lives to a certain extent that would be reminiscent of a Dragon Ball character or that philosophy, right? Because we took what Toriyama was saying seriously, even in maybe some instances where we didn't enjoy every bit of every aspect of an arc or an episode or a character's development. We still appreciated the work he put in and the message he was still trying to put out. And because of his passing, I think it's still important for us to remember that was part of his mission and his motivation with Dragon Ball. Toriyama was giving you life lessons that some of us may have not had in our own personal lives. And I think it's important to remember that to stay grounded. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to have a discussion with this in regards to it, because I hate the plot armor excuse. That's like the laziest argument, and it's not even really an argument. You're just saying something that's like, okay, no one can say you're wrong, but like that's not a point. That's just like, there's more to Goku's character. It's not just plot armor. He's lost quite a number of his fights, and fairly, and that again is what I mean. He adapts. Goku continues to adapt. I think some people forget that's what makes his character dangerous. Adapt, and be aware. Those 2 things combined, Goku can essentially do anything he wants, and that's why he continues to achieve limits. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Appreciate your love, support on the channel. As always, stay strong, stay tough, stay in the fight, and with you there all the way, brother. We'll have 3 more topics related to this coming up, and related to Goku's power level, his fury, and his power-ups. Kaioken Striker. I'll see you later. Goodbye.